My name is Chris. My parents are very rich, and I really love them. They provide everything I need without me even asking, probably because I'm their only child. However, I have a major problem with anger issues. I get angry at every little thing. Well, it's not my fault. People always tend to get on my nerves, and I will surely give them what they deserve. One morning, I was coming back from my workout, already stressed and very tired. I got to my gate and knocked, expecting the gateman to open it for me. But he took his time, leaving me outside for a few minutes. I was so pissed off that I slapped him. I don't care if he's older than me. All I know is that he is my staff and must obey instructions. You know, right? I went inside and reported him to my mom, and she promised to get him punished.
Really? Don't worry. I'll punish him for it.
I trust my mom. She has always had my back. That same day, I went upstairs, changed my clothes, and headed out. I came downstairs to inform my parents that I was going out. My dad then said, "And I know you need money."
And I know you need some money.
That man never ceases to amaze me. He just knows what I want at the right time. Of course, you know I don't reject money. He promised to transfer 300,000 naira to me.
I will transfer you 300,000 naira.
I appreciated him for being the best dad ever, and I left. I came back that day feeling tired and asked one of my staff to get me a glass of juice. This person took over 30 minutes to bring me the juice. I was so angry. What's wrong with these people? I had to give him what he deserved so he wouldn't waste my time again. At least I was able to control my anger. I didn't even slap his other cheek, just the right one. As the Bible said, when your brother slaps you on the right cheek, turn the left cheek. But he was so ill-mannered that he didn't turn the other cheek. Well, just kidding, guys. Now, back to what I was saying. He left for the kitchen holding his face, and I overheard him reporting me to the chef saying, "Can you imagine that small boy slapped me again?"
Can you imagine that small boy slaps me again?
Guys, really? He just called me a small boy. I could have gone there to help him maintain his face again, but I chose to hold back, let him have his way this time. So guys, I was driving out one fateful morning and almost hit an old woman. I was so angry at her. Is she blind? Can't she see a moving vehicle?
Are you blind? Eh? Why would you just enter the road like this?
I said to her, "You're lucky I'm in a good mood. Otherwise, I would have given you one or two."
Foolish old woman, look at you. See, you're lucky I'm in a good mood. I would have given you one or two just now.
I really hate all these street people. The woman then said, "You are just so ill-mannered."
You are just so ill-mannered.
I had to control my anger that day. Otherwise, I would have taught that foolish woman some lessons. I got home and entered the kitchen, only to be surprised to see a stranger eating in my kitchen. I just don't know what this world is turning into. Beggars everywhere, I asked. "Who are you?" She replied, smiling like an idiot, "I'm Esther's daughter."
I'm Esther's daughter.
That makes sense.
I wasn't really surprised. I said to her, "No wonder you look like you came from the slums."
No wonder you look like you came from the slums.
She got angry, but that's none of my business. I don't care. I told her to enjoy her food because she clearly needed it the way I saw her, and then I left. I sat down on the couch as my parents came downstairs dressed to go out. They asked me to join them, but I refused. I just wanted them to enjoy themselves, not knowing that would be the last day I would see them. I went to sleep in my room, and after a few minutes, I overheard noises downstairs. I decided to check what was happening and was surprised to see everyone crying. I was in a hurry to find out what was going on, so I asked them.
What's happening?
They didn't want to tell me at first, so I had to shout at them to get an answer.
What's going on now? What's the meaning of this? Eh?
Finally, Esther spilled the beans saying, "Your parents had a fatal accident and they both died."
They had a fatal car accident and they both died.
Guys, can you believe that? I fainted immediately because my heart couldn't handle it. I was devastated. Where do I start from? The people I loved so much have left me, just like that. At that moment, I felt like taking my life. What am I living for? I had no siblings, no one to run to. I was so down, it felt like I was out of this world. The biggest shock came to me one morning while I was asleep. One of my staff woke me up saying I had a guest.
Sorry to disturb you, sir. But there's someone downstairs that wants to see you.
I didn't want to go, but he mentioned that the guest was an important person and I needed to see him, so I went down. Upon getting downstairs, I saw a man in a suit who introduced himself, saying, "My name is Joseph Johnson from TFC Bank."
My name is Joseph Johnson from TAC Bank.
I offered him a seat. He went on to say, "Your father borrowed a couple of billions from the bank and used this house and everything in it as collateral."
Your father borrowed some money from the bank. A couple of billions.
I was really shocked and thought he was joking.
The thing is, he used his company and this house as collateral.
He then said, "The bank is taking over and you will need to vacate this house within 5 days."
It means the bank is taking over. You're to vacate the premises within 5 days.
Seriously, guys, that period was more than hell for me. I didn't know what to do at that moment, so I started calling people to ask
I've been
for
calling
help.
you.
I called all my friends, but to my greatest surprise, everyone turned their back on me. I was so pained. I didn't know what to do anymore. No one wanted to help me. I sat on the floor crying that day when Esther came in and saw me. I told her that no one wanted to help me, I didn't have any money, and I had no place to go.
And no one wants to help me. I don't have anywhere to go.
Surprisingly, she asked me to follow her to her house, saying, "It's not as large as your home, but you will be comfortable."
You can follow me to my house. It's not as fine and lavish as this house, but you'll be comfortable.
I was so surprised and asked her why she was helping me, since I hadn't been nice to her.
Why are you being nice to me?
She said I was almost the same age as her daughter, and she would want someone to help her daughter if she were in my shoes.
You're almost the same age as my daughter. And if she were to be in your situation, I would like someone to help her, just like I'm helping you.
She then asked me to stand up and pack my belongings. At least I had a place to lay my head. So I moved to her house, and can you believe they have just one room? She asked me to sleep on the couch. Really?
So, in this house, we have just one room. And that is where my daughter and I are sleeping. So, you'll be sleeping on this sofa.
I didn't know what to do at that moment, but I didn't have a choice, so I had to manage with them. Her daughter didn't like me because of what happened the last time she came to my house. She now sees me as an ill-mannered person, which I am not. I even had to eat their local food with them. It was so disgusting, but I didn't have a choice. I had to manage. Night fell, and I had to sleep on that couch. Mosquitoes bit the hell out of me. I was not comfortable at all, but what could I do? The day broke, and I was still fast asleep when this girl disrupted my sleep, asking me to sweep the house.
I'm going to go make breakfast, so go get a broom and sweep here.
Can you imagine? This rat pretending to be human. I've never swept before, so how could I do that? She even threatened not to give me food if I didn't sweep. That's a big slap to my face, but not to worry, it's not her fault. Guys, as you can see now, I'm doing my best to mop and she's complaining, saying, "Your people didn't do well to bring you up."
Your people did you wrong by over-pampering you.
Did you just hear that? You know I'm just calming down because I'm in her house. Otherwise, I would have unleashed my anger. I trust myself on that. I even wanted to assist her with her studies, but she insisted. This girl thinks I'm dull, no problem. So guys, I was on a call with my so-called friend, still begging him for help, when Sharon overheard me telling him that the house is too disgusting for me to stay in, and that they also made me do house chores.
Imagine, they make me do house chores. I sleep on the sofa. Can you imagine me sleeping on the sofa?
She left in anger. Later that day, I went to the kitchen where she was cooking to apologize to her for what I said earlier and for all my wrongdoings.
I'm sorry about what you heard on the phone.
Happily, she forgave me. I offered to assist her with the cooking, but she said, "You who doesn't know how to sweep and mop, you want to cook?"
You, help me in the kitchen. You that you can't sweep and mop.
Yeah, she was right after all. So she asked me to go inside and wait for the food to be ready, and I left. That night, I was sitting outside and Sharon came out and saw me in pain. She asked what happened, and I said, "My life has become a mess ever since they left me. No one wants to help me.
My life has become a mess ever since they left me. I've lost it all. No one wants to help me.
She tried to console me, talked and advised me, saying, I know things may be bad now, but you can't give up on yourself.
Look, I know things look bad now, but you can't give up on yourself.
I appreciated her and said, it turns out you are not a witch after all.
Turns out you're very rich after all.
She was surprised that I thought she was a witch. I mean, this girl gave me a tough time, guys, but at least I'm happy now that we are friends. Things will be better now. The next morning, I saw her struggling to solve math problems, so I decided to help her. She rejected my help, saying, besides, I don't think you will know it.
Besides, I don't think you can even solve it, so...
I was surprised and decided to shock her by asking for the pen so I could solve it. I did solve it, and she was so surprised. Guys, I said earlier that this girl thinks I'm dull, but I'm happy I could correct that. I started helping her with her studies, and she was enjoying it and getting more ideas. Bit by bit, I started to, guys, let me not spill the beans. Days and weeks passed, and I kept helping her with her studies. She is a fast learner, and I'm happy about that. She was also teaching me house chores. Guys, I didn't know house chores could be this fun. I mean, I enjoyed it so much. It was really amazing, I can say. I decided to move to the next step by learning how to cook. I'm a fast learner, so it shouldn't be that hard. But, sincerely, women are trying. How can she be so boldly using a knife to cut her ingredients without being scared that she might get injured? Not to mention adding salt to the food. If I were the one preparing that meal, guys, trust me, you would need to take a purge medicine, I bet you. She is really a wife material, guys. One afternoon, I was sitting on the couch feeling bored because Sharon was not around. She had gone to check her exam results. Sharon then entered happily, giving me stuff. She handed me a paper and I checked the content. I was happy to see that she had passed her exam. I was so happy for her. At least I was able to help her succeed. She hugged me tightly and we shared a joyful moment together. That same day, we both entered the kitchen to cook. I said to her, I'm proud of you, and she replied, I'm proud of you too. Wow, she is proud of me. That's good. I told her she deserved a gift, but she actually looked down on me at that moment, saying, tutoring me is the best gift I've ever had, and besides, I know you don't have money to buy me a gift.
Besides, I know you don't have money right now, and tutoring me was the best gift I could get. In any case, I should be the one getting you a gift for being an amazing tutor.
She was right after all, so I looked at my phone and decided to sell it. What's the use of having a phone worth hundreds of thousands when I need the money? It was better to sell it so I could buy something for her, at least. I sold the phone and brought some foodstuffs home. Aunt Esther was surprised and asked where I got the money from. I told her I sold my phone, and she was shocked.
Where did you get the money to buy all this?
I sold my phone.
What?
She said I shouldn't have sold it, but I explained my reasons to her and gave her some cash to get something for herself. She was very excited and hugged me. Then I said to Sharon, wait until you see your own gift.
You wait till you see the gift I got you.
My gift.
And she was surprised by my words. Later that day, I entered the kitchen with her gift and asked her to close her eyes as I presented it to her. Guys, come and see excitement. I've never seen anyone this excited before because of a gift. Her type is really rare.
Are you being serious?
You like it?
Love it! Yes, this is beautiful.
She opened the gift one by one and was even more excited seeing different kinds of items inside, such as a watch, necklace, different brands of perfume, and more. I put the necklace on her, and immediately my heart skipped a beat. I felt this affection. I guess I'm falling in love with her. To make matters worse, she hugged me and my heart almost left my body, but I was able to control it. I couldn't sleep that night. I was just smiling and blushing like a kid. So this is love. We kept getting closer day by day, playing games, fighting sometimes, and stealing each other's meat. You know women, they just like trouble. One night, I summoned the courage to tell her that I love her. I wrote a small note on a sheet of paper asking her to meet me in the parlor after her mom fell asleep. She found her way out that night and met with me. At first, I was scared to say it, but I had to be courageous. I'm a man, after all. So I said to her, I'm experiencing feelings that I never felt for anyone before, and judging by these symptoms, I'm convinced this is love.
But I'm experiencing these feelings that I've never felt for anyone before. And going by the symptoms, I'm convinced that this is love.
She asked, what symptoms?
What symptom?
I told her, I get butterflies in my belly anytime I'm with you, and when you're not around, I'm constantly thinking about you.
And I get these butterflies in my stomach whenever you're around. When you're not around, I'm constantly thinking about you, wishing you were there with me.
After saying all that, she immediately removed her hand from mine, and I was surprised. I apologized for saying all that to her, and she then said, wait, I think I love you too. I'm having the same symptoms.
Wait! I have the same symptoms. I think I love you too.
I was so happy, so I went close to her to give her a kiss, and to my greatest surprise, she fainted. I was devastated at that moment. I didn't know what to do because her mom was not even aware she was with me. Guys, what do I do now? The next morning, we consulted a doctor about Sharon, and he confirmed she was medically all right from the series of tests they had done.
From the test carried out on her, she's completely fine.
I was surprised. How could she be all right when she wasn't moving? What do we call this now? Days passed, and nothing changed. Auntie Esther cried her eyes out, and I was also in pain. I just prayed nothing happened to my Sharon. The next day, Auntie Esther decided to take another step by inviting a pastor to come over. The pastor came and prayed. After praying, he said to us, while I was praying, God revealed to me the cause of what is happening to Sharon. He brought back the memory of what transpired between me and an old woman some months back.
Foolish old woman, look at you. See, you're lucky I'm in a good mood. I would have given you one or two just now.
You are just so ill-mannered.
The woman cursed me, saying that anyone I loved would die. That was what led to the death of my parents. I really regretted my actions. I just wished I could turn back time to correct my mistakes. I then asked him what could be done. He replied that I had to go and plead for forgiveness from the woman. I told him I didn't know where the woman lived, and he said the woman was dead. At that moment, I felt like the ground should open and swallow me. Auntie Esther burst out in uncontrollable tears. The pastor then said, something else can be done. I asked, what can be done? He said I would need to go to that same spot and apologize to the woman before 12 noon as her spirit is still there. If I failed to do so before then, Sharon would die. God forbid. Not my Sharon. I needed to do that before it was too late. Before I left, I apologized to Auntie Esther for the pain I caused her. Seriously, guys, if I weren't in the picture, everything would be going well for her. She forgave me and hugged me before I left. I got to the spot crying and begging the old woman, saying, please forgive me. I have lost my parents. I lost everything. I don't want to lose Sharon too.
I lost my parents. I've lost everything. Please forgive me. I don't want to lose Sharon too. Please.
I kept begging and begging until night fell. I cried my eyes out, kneeling and pleading. Suddenly, I heard the lightning and thunder, and rain started falling. Then I remembered what the pastor said. There will be a sign immediately she forgives you.
Something will happen that will signify that she's forgiving you.
I was so happy, shouting, thank you, thank you. I cried out of joy. Finally, I wouldn't lose my Sharon, all thanks to God. But guys, I'm sorry to shock you all. I woke up to find out all this was a dream. Don't panic, guys. Even I was scared when I woke up. I saw my mom and was surprised she was still alive, as well as Auntie Esther.
Mom.
Son?
Mom. Mom. I thought you died.
I asked her about Sharon, and she said she was fine. What kind of dream is this? Well, I'm happy my parents are alive and Sharon is doing perfectly fine. I went downstairs happily and hugged one of my staff members. He probably thought I was going to slap him, but I shocked him by apologizing for all my wrongs. He forgave me. I then heard a car horn, went outside and saw my dad. I gave him a big hug, surprising him by saying, Dad, you are alive.
Dad, I'm so happy to see you alive.
Oh, God, thank God you're alive, Dad.
I hugged the rest of the staff, and they were all surprised too. Immediately, Sharon came in, and I was thrilled to see that she was doing well.
I'm so happy you're well, Sharon. You're well.
I hugged her too, and she was surprised, thinking something was wrong with me, as she heard me saying, "You are well." I was so happy and ran inside. Later that day, I went to the kitchen and saw Sharon and her mom cooking and discussing. I spilled the beans to them, saying, "I had a dream, and it has made me realize how unfair I was to everyone around me and how rude and arrogant I was."
And in that dream, I was made to realize how unfair I was to everyone around me.
I said to Sharon, "But in that dream, you changed me." She was surprised.
But also in that dream, you changed me.
I asked her to forgive me for being unfair to her and asked if we could be friends. She was hesitant. You know, girls, but her mother concluded that we could be friends. Then I hugged her to a new beginning. The next day, I decided to gift everyone. I called them out one by one and gifted Sam. He was so happy and said, "This thing that has made you turn a new leaf, God will bless it." Ooh.
This thing that made you turn this new leaf, God will bless it. I'm impressed.
The guy was just full of excitement. I gifted the others, and they were all thanking me and even kneeling down. I felt so fulfilled that I had changed. Guys, being a good person is really good. See how lively I feel, even my workers. I'm so damn happy. My parents were also surprised. They asked me, "Son, what is this excitement all about?"
Son, what's this excitement among the domestic staffs? They are saying that you have changed.
All the domestic staff are saying you have changed. My mom confirmed it, saying, "I'm liking the new version of you."
Though I am liking the new version of you.
I said to her, "I went through a process in my dream that has changed me, and I promise to tell you the dream one day."
I went through a process in my dream that has changed me. Well, it's a long story, and I promise to tell you one day.
I told them, truly, being humble pays. Seriously, guys, I've found a new version of myself. It is really good to be good. After a few weeks, Sharon and I became lovers, and we were both happy going out on dates together. Love is really a beautiful thing. So guys, make sure you are always humble. Humility does pay, and be nice to people around you, okay? Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed my story in my world of movies. Please don't forget to subscribe to Movie Extract for more interesting, educational, and fascinating stories. See you in our next movie.